Welcome back, friends, to another creepy edition of Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and today we'll be bringing you two amazing combinations, the top 10 Call of Duty creepypastas. Creeping its way in at number 10, The Ring Effect. This creepypasta comes to us from an anonymous poster on the Gaming Creepypasta Wiki. I'm calling it The Ring Effect because just like in The Ring, this terrifying encounter comes when a college kid runs into a friend standing at his doorstep. With a ghostly expression look on his face, he hands his friend the game Call of Duty Black Ops and then runs away without speaking a word. After suffering from a little bit of boredom, he decides to try the game out. He decided to play zombies specifically. He drops into the game with 3 other players. One of the players goes down from a zombie attack, where our college kid witnesses a very realistic player being eaten alive by zombies. And in between rounds, he's texting a friend about how realistic the game is, and he just goes right into all the detail about watching a player have his insides removed by the zombie. Suddenly, he hears a scream and can hear the player shouting, "I hate you, I hope you rot in hell with me." This was startling, but even more so was the reply from his friend that the game doesn't usually feature that much realism, and that he must have had a hacked copy. When he looks up to his screen, a zombie is staring at him with a strange grin and says in a low, soothing voice, "I'm going to enjoy this." Now, every time he goes to sleep, he has recurring nightmares of zombies eating him where he can feel every bite. And when he wakes up in a cold sweat, he sees a mysterious figure at the edge of his bed. Number 9. Blood Brothers. This creepypasta comes to us from Flip the Script. Now, unlike other creepypastas, this one doesn't really have to do with strange things happening in the game, rather strange feelings that come from playing the game itself. It's a tale of 2 half-brothers. Their father was especially fond of the oldest brother and would shower him with new consoles and anything that would help his future in gaming. Angered by the lack of attention he receives from his father, jealousy takes over. It's not said in the story, but one can assume that from playing so much Call of Duty to keep up with his brother's increasing success, getting the cold shoulder from his father, and envy building, it creates a vicious circle that changes his personality to that of a homicidal maniac. He sees that his only option is to put an end to both his father and brother's dreams by ending them. He then proceeds to spike their drinks, and as his father drops dead to the ground with his brother closely behind, his brother exclaims, "What did you put in our drinks?" And the younger brother just says, "Rat poison." In at number 8, Death Day. This is another great creepypasta from Flip the Script. This story focuses around the player's grandfather who helped raise him, and most importantly, around his story as a World War II veteran. At a young age, he used to watch his grandfather play World at War and listen to him describe how cool the campaign was, how realistic the graphics were, and how the people on his squad felt like real-life brothers in arms. Before our player's grandfather died of skin cancer, he left him a present. It was Call of Duty World War II. With the game was a note that read, "Happy 17th birthday, Jimmy. Always be with you. Love, Granddad." When he opened the packaging, he noticed the copy was different. The standard logo that said Call of Duty World War II wasn't gold and yellow, it was red. His campaign mode begins at the Battle of the Bulge, near the end of the war, and the main character's name was James Shepard. The creepy part was his name is also James Shepard. Coincidence? Well, it gets weirder. He was named after his grandfather. The other 2 characters in the campaign also had the same last names as his grandfather's best friends that were killed in the war, McMaster and Tubbs. And after reaching the final mission of invading a Holocaust camp, also where his grandfather believed to be where he was exposed to chemicals that gave him his skin cancer, upon entering this part, the player believed he could actually smell the burning corpses and bodies that covered the grounds. Number 7. Want to play a game? This creepypasta comes to us courtesy of Sinister. Upon moving into a new home, a young boy who lived next door sees the man carrying his Xbox into the house, and the neighbor asks if they could play zombies sometime. He obliged and said that whenever he got all set up in the new house, he'd give him his gamer tag. And upon booting up Call of Duty, he receives a shocking message that read, "I'm your new neighbor, want to play a game?" Every few minutes when they were playing together too, he could hear screams in the distance coming from the kid's microphone. And after going to sleep, he tossed and turned, wondering what those screams could have been. The next day though, upon turning on his Xbox, he was bombarded with messages from the boy. Not wanting to be bothered, he ignored and set his status to offline. The messages didn't stop, saying, "I know you're there. please play with me. Out of frustration, he shut off his Xbox, and after finishing his breakfast, he walked back into the room to finish unpacking, and to his surprise, the Xbox was on with a message from the neighbor reading,
"Do you want to play a game?"
And after playing for about an hour, he heard the screams again. Like any normal human being, he called the police and told them his story, asking to check on the neighbor's home. When the officer arrived, he pointed them in the direction of the neighbor's home. The officer demanded that he came with him, and when they walked over the house, it was empty. The officer said that this home had been vacant for the past 3 years, and after arguing with the officer that there was indeed people in there, the officer said that the people who lived there were murdered by their own son. After killing them in their sleep, he turned the gun on himself. Number 6, Respawn. In 2007, a kid was playing Call of Duty and befriended someone online who he could vent to as if he was an older brother. And after playing together for so long, he went radio silent. He hadn't heard from this older brother, so he moved on, and 10 years later when the game Call of Duty Remastered came out, he decided to play for old time's sake. He even decided to invite his old pal. To his surprise, he accepted. Although the creepy part was, the only thing coming from his mic was his voice when he got a kill.
1, 2, 3.
Scared, he messaged his online friend's actual younger brother to discover that Aaron had been in a mental institution for the last 2 years. And after receiving this message, he gets one from Aaron that says, "Paying you a visit."
97, 98, 99.
Then suddenly, he gets a knock at his door, and Aaron is standing there, but all he says is
100.
Number 5, Games of Hell. A few players were invited to this custom game match that looked like a creepy version of Vacant. The leader who invited them simply said that you don't want to lose. And after starting into the game, the player sees what look like hundreds of bodies burning in a hallway and almost begins to smell the burning flesh. And the lobby leader then said that if the light goes out, all the souls will be left in limbo, and there will be no return to this world. They were the souls. After trying to disconnect the game, it kept him in. So he decided to play, and when he killed another character, he could hear them screaming as if being stabbed repeatedly. And after killing the 4 remaining players and winning the game, his mother came bursting through the door and said that he had been in there for 5 days and that no one could open the door. When he got back on Black Ops 2, he had prestiged 5 times, 1 for each soul. Number 4, Level 99. This creepypasta comes to us from Freaky Facts, and after making it to round 99 in Zombies, it's said that a bus will arrive to take the characters to a new location. The area they arrived in kind of looked like a realistic neighborhood. A message then appeared on the screen that read, "Kill the innocent." Inside of a home, the players are directed to a woman and her husband, then a 5-year-old boy. The players saw no harm because it's just a game, and when the deed was done, the screen went black and they heard screams. After the game ended, the player went to bed. In the morning, he checked the news and a headline read, "Young boy shot and killed, along with mother and father. No suspects." Number 3, Hidden Mod. After learning how to mod the game to reach the 10th prestige, the player went into the mod menu and saw a link that said prestige.mod, with the I in prestige being replaced with the number 1. The game began glitching and lagging, and the player kept receiving and losing prestige in random numbers. And then a message saying "Ghosts coming" appeared on the screen. The next day, he received a package at his door, and upon opening it, inside was a severed head that looked like the character Ghost from Modern Warfare 2. When he returned to his screen, he found an error message that said, "You have been permabanned from this game. Please do not mod our games." Number 2, Mirrors. During a game of search and rescue, a guy came into the game chat speaking of a glitch on the map Flooded, where the players could enter the game and actually get outside of the map. When the players get there, the guy helps them outside of the map and then is nowhere to be found. Outside of the map, they come across a funhouse surrounded by kind of what looks like headless corpses and impaled clowns everywhere. He then began smelling a horrible smell of death. He carried on into the funhouse with the doors closing behind him, and then he ended up in a room filled with mirrors, with his actual reflection. Writing then appeared in the mirror that said "Turn around." So he turned around in real life, and he saw what looked like a clown with blood dripping from its mouth. The clown slowly bent down and said, "Don't look at the mirrors." Number 1, Seeing Things. After a player lost his friend George at the age of 16 to cancer, he told him on his deathbed that he wanted him to have his gamer tag. And one night, when playing on Occupation, he sees outside of the map what looks like his friend George. And after playing for a while, his other controller suddenly turns on, with a guest account on the screen. And when he turns off his Xbox, he hears through the headphones, Good night, Nathan. He then begins seeing his friend George everywhere he goes. His parents quickly get him to a therapist believing that he's a paranoid schizophrenic. And in the therapist's office on the 5th floor, he sees George motioning him to the window. The therapist asks, "What are you doing?" And Nathan just responds, "I'm doing what he tells me to do." He then opens the window, and as he falls to the ground, he hears George for one last time.
I can't pass on without you. We are best friends, and we will always play COD together.
And that has been the top 10 Call of Duty creepypastas. If you enjoyed, hit that thumbs up button, click the playlist on the screen if you want more videos like this one, and to stay up to date with all of our new videos, you gotta hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments which creepypasta freaked you out the most. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.